is Sunday, September 10th, 2023. I'm glad you're here. If you'd ever like to receive the church program, if you do not receive it already, just go to churchofspirituality.online and it will be there. Today's program will be there. And today we're going to talk about in memory of September 11th, and we're going to spend some time talking about that. And tomorrow is the 22nd anniversary of that horrible day. So there's a collective energy around really pivotal events that we need to acknowledge and not just like brush them aside. So it's really important that we commemorate September 11th and see, you know, where we've come since that terrible day, how far we've come. So let me just get started by letting you know that the theme for the month has been Powerful Peace, and the sermon today is entitled Choosing Peace. And I'm going to just start with a little bit of music. Let's see what I turn to. So I'm just going to play a little prelude to give people a chance to recognize that it's time for church. Opportunity to make sure you have a full hour where you will not be interrupted for this service. We all owe it to ourselves to have at least an hour a day to reflect on our journey as spiritual beings, having a human experience together. It's the divine's will that we all be together during this time in history. I believe that. I'm going to start with the prayer for healing for the United States. Remembering that we are all connected, this prayer includes all of Earth's peoples. Healing one country contributes to the healing of everyone. God is all in all, the divine presence that is everywhere. There is no spot where God is not. We declare that we, the people of the United States, along with the rest of the world, are one with this divine presence. Divine order is working through the situations of divisiveness and the appearances of hatred. We know and experience that everything is always happening for the ultimate outcome of healing and rebirth everywhere. Darkness that has been manifest is now fully removed and dissolved. Those who have outpictured hatred and vitriol are now stopped in their tracks. We see evidence now that the light is presently in the process of eliminating evil, stopping all violence, healing and protecting this and all nations. Enemy countries that may have received United States secret information find that it has been rendered useless. Potential plans for any and all attacks are stopped. Harm to the people simply does not occur. Domestic terrorist extremist groups drop their arms and weapons. deciding that the planning of attacks on our nation and on all nations is useless and simply not worth it. Collectively, we choose to have and to contribute to a country and a world of peace. Justice is now in full operation and truth prevails, replacing all lies and negative rhetoric. We see the triumph of peace over conflict. Leaders who stand for love and unity prevail and win. Those who have stood for hatred and violence now fall from positions of power according to the divine will. People everywhere demand and stand for the infinite power of love and interconnected harmony with one another. We eliminate from this prayer treatment any and all manifestations of fear, panic, doubt, worry now and in the future. Negative emotions have lost all power. Negative outcomes simply do not happen. Positive occurrences and progress are the case, no matter the outward appearances. We work together as one country and one world to make America a safe and protected nation that is a beacon for a working democracy for the good of this nation and the world. America heals now and becomes better than ever before. As we release this treatment to the divine law of harmony and good, we give thanks that it is so, and so it is. If anybody's live streaming in from a different country, just know that this is an all connected. This goes for all people. We just happen to be in the States. The theme for September is, as I said, is powerful peace. Today's sermon is choosing peace. Thank you for being here. And if you would like to text somebody and invite them to join us, as I said, we're going to be talking about September 11th, the lessons that we've learned since then from a spiritual perspective. And you might want to have somebody join you for that. If you would like to share your personal prayer requests, we have a beautiful, very uplifting and powerful spiritual community here, virtual, and people in the chat will pray for you through the week. It's very challenging for me to keep track of the chat while I'm doing the service, so just, you can put those up for people that are joining us today. Put your prayer requests up. Don't be shy about that. We will have a time of guided meditation prayer in which I bring into the prayer world events. So your personal prayer requests can go in the chat. I'm going to read our mission statement. We believe we are all connected to divine intelligence, continually moving through all of life and all living things. We remember to always align ourselves with this divine presence to create healing miracles in our own lives, positively affecting the lives of all those we come into contact with, seen and unseen. We believe that the kingdom of heaven resides within each and every one of us and that love is all there is. We know and acknowledge that we are one. So let's see, please tap on the like, the thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel. The announcements that I have are on Tuesdays. We have a guided meditation for a healed America. As I said, healing one country contributes to the healing of all countries. So join us for that by going to grassrootsofdemocracy.com. And after the guided meditation every single Tuesday, it's in a Zoom meeting. What we do is we go over the readings from today. So it's a kind of a deep dive into analyzing the meanings of the readings from today. Both readings today are taken from a book called September Morning, and this is the 10th anniversary edition of the ceremonies after September 11th from 2002 to 2012, I believe. So that's what the readings are today. Okay, let's go to our healing chants. Our healing chants are great for you to take into your week whenever you feel stressed. I know none of you are ever stressed, but if you know anyone that's ever stressed, let me fix something here before I play that. Just want to change my view here. Okay. This is in the present. Sing along if you know it. I'm in the present, mind and body, here and now. In the present, breathing, intending, all is well. Now we're in the present, mind and body, here and now. In the present, breathing, intending, all is well. Breathing, intending that all is well. Breathing and intending that all is well. Very important concepts. Breathing, intending, all is well. When we feel that all is well, we send out a peaceful energy into the world, and other people get it. Speaking of all is well, all is well, all is well. All is well, 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 all is well. Great, Cheryl's singing. It's a really important one coming next. Really impactful. When we learn how to forgive, it frees us up for the love that's always available and the peace that's always available. When we're in anger, we're in the past. I forgive everyone, I forgive everyone, I forgive everyone, I forgive everyone, forgive everyone. With God's help, I forgive everyone, especially myself. We forgive everyone, we forgive everyone, we forgive everyone, we forgive everyone, forgive everyone. With God's help, we forgive everyone, especially ourselves. We forgive everyone, we forgive everyone, we forgive everyone, we forgive everyone, forgive everyone. With God's help, we forgive everyone, especially ourselves. And one more. About moving at the pace that's appropriate. I move at God's pace and I receive God's guidance. God provides abundantly, I have no fear at all. We move at God's pace and we receive God's guidance. God provides abundantly, we have no fear at all. We move at God's pace and we receive God's guidance. have no fear at all. God's always providing abundantly. The universe is always there having our backs. We're going to go into our prayer time, so just make sure maybe you made notes of the people that need prayers, that notated that in the chat. And what I'm going to do is a chant, and that chant gets us into the prayer. So make sure you won't be interrupted. Your pets all set, and your kids or grandchildren are, quiet. They can pray with you. Your pets and your kids can pray with you. And we'll begin with a deep, centering breath. Close your eyes, and we'll begin. Deep, healing breaths. We are one in spirit, we co-create with God. We lift our prayers up to the light, expanding loving thoughts. We are one in spirit, we co-create with God. We lift our prayers up to the light, expanding loving thoughts. Make your next breath the deepest breath ever, and hold it before you exhale. We're going to chant Om 3 times as we go into the prayer. You can do that aloud if that's comfortable where you are, or you can do it silently. Please have your eyes closed. Dr. Ernest Holmes always talked about practicing the presence, which meant practicing being in the presence, being in the stillness, being in the peace, being in the love that's always present. It's always with us. So often we don't stop to feel it, to know it, to be present. So we bring all our focus to this moment, into the stillness, into the cave in our minds, as we pray to the divine source of all life, the intelligence that created us, God, Divine Mother, Allah, Jehovah, Jesus, so many names for God, all meaning one thing. We call upon this divine presence to be with us, to help us to know the presence on this day, September 10th, 2023. We thank you, God, for this virtual congregation, all those who are here during the live stream and all those who watch afterwards. We ask you to allow us and show us how to feel your presence more often in our daily lives, so that we may be the peace that we wish to see in this world around us. Our hearts are with the people in Spain who have suffered a massive earthquake, terrible disaster. Please be with the rescue workers and all those who are mourning the loss of loved ones and all those who are injured and in trauma. Help us as one world to come together to help the people there. We remember the people in Turkey who also suffered a devastating earthquake. We remember the people who are suffering from the aftermath of climate-related disasters. Those who were in the path of Adelia, the people in Maui, people in California. There are too many places to mention that are suffering from this climate change and these shifts in the earth. Dear God, please help us to stop thinking of ourselves as too small to make a difference. We ask you to be with those families who lost loved ones so tragically and so suddenly on September 11th, 2001. We ask you to be close to them over the next day and today and tomorrow especially. Keep us safe and protected in the face of remembrance of this disaster. And dear God, please help us to remember the compassion and the love that we felt for one another and towards one another during that fearful time. In the United States, dear God, we ask you to bring us together as a united nation, as a united country. We ask you to help us to work towards eliminating hatred and violence. We ask for an end to gun violence, an end to people digging in with hatred. Loosen the grip of this dark and evil on our country and all countries. Fill up all of us with more love and more light and more healing than ever before. Help us to know that we must come together. Help us to participate and to not isolate. Dear God, we ask for an end to this war on Ukraine and all wars. We ask you to intervene and interfere in any meetings between various world leaders who want destruction and divisiveness. Please weaken their grip and take away their power for the highest good of all. And let us take a moment now for us to reflect on our personal prayer requests and the requests of people in the chat today. Take a moment of silence. Dear God, we ask you to push Hurricane Lee out into the ocean, far away from where it could do harm to the east coast of the United States and Canada. We ask that you help those who are grieving, mourning the loss of loved ones, families and people who are in hospice care. Please help the elders who are lonely, who are poor, and who are shut-ins. Help those with addictions. Dear God, please help the children who are without guidance, without support. And even help us to break our addiction to our electronic devices that have gotten us into the habit of forgetting to connect. And we lift our prayers up to the light, expanding our loving thoughts, knowing that our prayers are always answered, even when we don't see the results right away. We know that our prayers are always answered. So with great faith, as we lift our prayers up and let go, it is in great gratitude that we do so, and so it is. Amen. So much happening to pray about. So much. Okay. Our first reading. As I said, I took the readings today from this book called September Morning, 10 Years of Poems and Readings from the 9/11 Ceremonies in New York City, spanning the years from 2002 up to, I don't even remember where I got this book, 2011. So our first reading is a poem that was written by the American poet Wendell Berry, and this was taken from the closing ceremonies at the September 11th memorial service in 2008. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come to the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come to the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world. I am free. The line, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. And I just want to say, on my way here to my office today, to my right, there's a pond, and there was a great heron. That actually, the author of that poem is Wendell Berry, B-E-R-R-Y, like the fruit. Those of you who have the program will see that this musical selection is a song that I wrote. I wrote the song the weekend after September 11th, and it really captured a moment, so I just want to play this for you. So what happened was I was reading the paper about September 11th. It was the morning. And I just really could connect with her because she was a spiritual counselor. And that's what I was doing. Saw your picture in the paper here this morning. Though I hadn't seen your face or heard your name before. It said how the whole thing happened without warning was so insane. And as I sat here in the sunlight with my coffee, I watched my teardrops fall onto the page. Like for one moment I forgot that you were not me. There's so much pain. The day the whole world changed. Never saw so many people come together, and everyone was feeling all the same. We struggled to believe things could get better, and we all prayed. The day the whole world changed. The day the whole world changed. We remembered how we're all connected. The compassion we all had was resurrected. The day the whole world changed. The day the whole world changed. The world did change in so many ways. Our next reading was read by then President Barack Obama. Thank you. September 11th, 2011. And President Obama wrote, he read Psalm 46. So I'm going to read Psalm 46 from the Bible to you. God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear. Even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though its waters be troubled, though the mountains shake with its swelling, there is a river whose streams shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, just at the break of dawn. The nations raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come behold the works of the Lord, who has made desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. All right. That's a beautiful song. And Be Still and Know That I Am God is on the program. I have that one on. I wrote that one to put on the program. Our next musical selection is called Without Seeing You. And it seems to me, can't find it, oh, got it. Sometimes we feel like we can't see God. Sometimes we feel like we don't know where God is. And that's because, there's many reasons for that. It's because God works through the world around us. And sometimes we just have to have faith. Like on September 11th, I'm sure we all felt that God abandoned us. So this is called Without Seeing You. Without seeing you, we love you. Without touching you, we embrace. Without knowing you, we follow. Without seeing you, we believe. We return to you deep within. Leave the past to the dust. Turn to you with tears and loving. You are ready to forgive. Without seeing you, we love you. Without touching you, we embrace. Without knowing you, we follow. Without seeing you, we believe. The sparrow will find a home near to you, oh God. How happy we who dwell with you forever in your house. Without seeing you, we love you. Without touching you, we embrace. Without knowing you, we follow. Without seeing you, we believe. Forever we sing to you of your goodness, O God, proclaiming to all the world of your faithfulness and love. Without seeing you, we love you. Without touching you, we embrace. Without knowing you, we fall. Without seeing you, we believe. For you are our shepherd, there is nothing that we need. In green pastures, we'll find our rest near the waters of peace. Without seeing you, we love you. Without touching you, we embrace. Without knowing you, we fall. Without seeing you, we believe. Without seeing you, we love you. Without touching you, we embrace. Without knowing you, we follow. Without seeing you, we believe. The world has been a challenging place. And I want to read you a story. Thank you, Damon. This is from the closing ceremonies of the September 11th memorials from 2009. Let's see. This is in reference to the late Ted Kennedy. Ted Kennedy, to his last day, devoted his life to serving the country he loved and to understand that each person can make a huge difference in this world. And Ted Kennedy liked to tell this story. You may have heard this story before. It's a great kind of a parable type of story with a point. An old man walking along a beach saw a young man picking up a starfish and throwing it out to sea. "Why are you doing that?" the old man asked. The young man explained that the starfish had been stranded on the beach by a receding tide and could die in the daytime sun. "But the beach goes on for miles," the old man said, "and there are so many starfish. How can your effort make any difference?" Without hesitation, the young man threw another starfish back to the safety in the sea. He looked at the old man, smiled, and said, "It will make a difference to that one." That's a great story. We all have our, memories as with, collective tragedies. We all have our memories of where we were and what was happening. I was in Nashville at the time, so I was in Nashville when I wrote that song, that first song. And a few days after September 11th, we met with Sadhguru, because we had a satsang with Sadhguru. And towards the end, when we were doing a bit of a Q&A, we were all kind of reeling from what happened, and of course. And so I asked Sadhguru what we were supposed to do. Like how we were supposed to process this that had just happened. I mean, at that time, especially during that week, on the day of September 11th, we didn't know what was coming next. That's why all the planes were grounded. We didn't know what was coming next. We didn't know if more planes, had terrorists on them, and New York was just a cloud of horribleness. And so in the face of that, I don't know, I didn't expect Sadhguru to say what he did, but he told me in order for us to respond, he told all of us, in order for us to respond to this, we had to, in whatever we did in our response, we had to avoid the really horrid danger of us versus them. And it hadn't occurred to me that would be an issue, because we seemed so united then. We seemed like we were all, remember, united we stand, and it was all about we're together in this, and we're proud to be united, and the rest of the world. I remember hearing a story about a Navy ship, and there was a Navy ship for one of our ally countries that, as the American Navy ship, right after September 11th was passing them, the other ship, they all stood at attention and saluted the American Navy ship. So there was a time where we came together and we were unified. But when Sadhguru said that, I guess I didn't really see it coming. I didn't see the divisiveness coming, which is why I was so puzzled. And I'm sure we all were puzzled in the room. And now, here in 2023, 22 years later, we all see it. We all see the challenge of people acting like they hate one another, and social media was barely around in 2001, but we've got platforms for people to seethe with rage and to feel like they can be anonymous, and so they can say whatever evil things that they want, and that nothing will happen to them. And it's become an energy of competition, and like, if I can't get mine, you can't get yours, and we all know what we're talking about, right? And I think that, you know, the theme of today's sermon is choosing peace. And so that's a message that I received from Sadhguru. And if you want to go to YouTube and listen to any of his talks on peace, I'm so overflowing with gratitude that I was able to learn so many years ago how to really get there. I've expressed to some of you that come to the Grassroots of Democracy meetings and, you know, maybe watch my videos throughout the week, that I just this past week had an experience that I shared, because I know other people go through this experience of somebody just being awful to me, a stranger just being awful, and how even though I have so many tools, I really went into a tailspin in my mind, and remembering, for me, I was able to remember that that person who lashed out at me, it doesn't justify the situation of getting so inappropriate. That person had a lot of fear and a lot of sense of nobody cares about me, nobody pays attention to me, and you know, so I tried my hardest to just bring myself to that place. But if I hadn't practiced being peaceful and accessing the peace and being, you know, in a meditation practice, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have had those tools to remember, like we say in our mission statement, that we are all connected, we are all one. And there's science out there to prove that and to show that. I was listening to Greg Braden's book, The Divine Matrix, and he mentioned a study that I've mentioned on several occasions before, of the Maharishi experiment, in which people, and it happened in different places in the world, there were several of these studies in the United States that said that when a group of people meditated together, the crime rate went down, and not just one place, not just one kind of a fluke kind of a thing, but throughout, consistently. When people meditated as a group and they felt that peace and they felt that calm, the collective energy settled down, which is why you hear some masters say, some great enlightened masters like Sadhguru said it, and many other whom I consider enlightened masters have said, if 1% of the world's population can become meditative and peaceful, then we will make it. We'll make it through the hatred and the vitriol and the evil. Because what we're seeing now is the more tense it gets, the more people feel like they're out there, you know, all alone on an island. And I read from Thomas Merton's book last week, No Man is an Island. None of us are islands, we're all connected. So we have to know that how we're holding ourselves has an effect on the collective, to the point that physics experiments have been done. And if you want to do a deep dive into this, you can look into Greg Braden's work, or somebody else, he's the one that comes to mind right now, where the photons, the energy particles in one place, there's no time that elapses between when those energy particles in one location affect energy particles in another location. They simultaneously become the same. They respond in the same manner. So when we are peaceful, I know it's hard. That's why I played that hymn, without seeing you, we love you, without seeing the evidence. We just have to know that when I am peaceful, when you are peaceful, you are affecting the collective energy. And during those times when we are so triggered and so angry and so impatient and so frustrated, you can't even get somebody to help you with a problem that's a real person online. People start to feel isolated. People get mad that they're feeling isolated. People aren't finding solutions. They're just finding more reasons to feel divided and to feel the hatred. And I just want to mention right here, you know, some of these seeds being planted are coming from enemy countries through the media that are causing people to feel divided and hateful. And we cannot survive. We cannot make it in this world if we're divided. We cannot. We will perish. We will not make it. And I'm the optimist that says we will make it. Because I know, just speaking of Sadhguru, Sadhguru has 9 million volunteers running his organization, and there are others. I just know that his is huge, and it's by the grace of God that I got connected, and I've never forget to be grateful for that I connected with him early on, so that I can bring this message to you. What happened after September 11th was we came together, and then fear set in, and people decided, well, we're different from them, and then, you know, all the crazy behind the scenes political things that happened, and, you know, everyone didn't kind of know what to think was the right response, and then there was a response that we didn't like, and it got crazy. And with the advent of, let's say, reality TV and the competitiveness and the I need to tell you how it's done, or, you know, unsolicited advice kind of thing, it's like, well, you know, when somebody gives you unsolicited advice, this is what I want to say about that. The inherent feeling in that unsolicited advice is there's something wrong with you. So parents, stop doing it to your children, and let's stop doing it to one another. If somebody's not asking you for advice, don't give unsolicited advice. Because the message that's inherent in the unsolicited advice is, I see something that's wrong about you. That's divisive. I want to see us, and you want to see us as a collective humanity who are here. Every single one of us is here for a short time, and we're all here together by divine appointment. We don't think about that enough. We don't think about how little time we have. And the whole scheme of things, we're not here for very long. And it's really up to each and every one of us to, at the end of our hopefully long lives, and hopefully we'll be on our deathbed aware that we're leaving, every one of us wants to be able to say, this world is a better place because I was here. It's up to every single human to come to that awareness, to make nothing wussy about love. There was a senator this past weekend, you all know who I'm talking about, who was having a problem with somebody who might be in the military writing a poem. No. That's our humanity. That's how we connect with one another. I just read you two poems, one a passage from Psalms in the Bible that uplifted us, that brought us some peace, that brought us to that awareness. Believe me, when I saw that, the mention of a heron in that poem, that I put together the program last night, and driving in, and I saw a heron. I saw a blue heron. That's the connectivity that we all have. We need more of us to come together and to say, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I miss being connected. I miss feeling like we're all in this together. I miss that feeling. Enough with the hatred, enough with the divisiveness, enough with the vitriol. I don't stand for that. I stand for love. And I am committed to being the peace that I want to experience in this world. Amen. Period. Right? When I was learning from Sadhguru, he said that it was important for us to say every day that I promise to make the world a more happy, peaceful, joyous place. So I leave you with that. I'm committed. I always say I'm committed to making the world a more happy, joyous, peaceful place. So let's help each other to do that. When you see someone doing good, don't point out the problems. Point out, that's pretty good. What you did is pretty good. And I know a lot of the people that are here do that, and it's so heartfelt and it's so appreciated. It's reassuring. It's inspiring. So let's be with those thoughts this week, and say some extra prayers for the people at the September 11th memorial celebrations, that we, and for America, that we get off this hatred track and we get back to love. It's not impossible. It's very, very, very possible. Okay, thank you for listening. Let me go to the next part of our program. I know I'm running over, but it's kind of a big day. Here's your opportunity to express the abundance of God. You're welcome. Thank you. Cora says she complimented the janitor at rest area for the hard work she was doing. That. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's so beautiful. For tithes that support Church of Spirituality, you can donate. There's a button below to donate. You can go to churchofspirituality.online. Thank you, Cheryl. So that's how you donate to Church of Spirituality. Please give to the International Rescue Committee to help Ukrainian refugees. This is where you can also give for recovery efforts in other parts of the world that are currently in crisis. I would imagine that rescue.org is also helping the earthquake victims. We must contribute to Sadhguru's Save Soil initiative. Go to savesoil.org. We're at risk of losing our topsoil, which would lead to world hunger. Let's see. Thank you for your caring and compassion for others and for our sacred planet that is in desperate need of healing. Let's do our prayer of thanksgiving. Dear God, thank you for making us more aware of what we have that we can give to make a difference in this troubled world. Help us to see that you make our supply infinite, granting us the inspiration and courage to be a more generous people. Thank you for the bounty which we receive. Amen. Before we go, as a little bit of a side note, I ask you all to visualize that hurricane going out to sea, because it's a big, scary hurricane. And I know that we can change things with our thoughts. So let's all visualize that hurricane going out to sea. And let's end with our, and Cheryl's in Maine, she can, yeah, we're on the coast, it's a little precarious. And our closing hymn is from Ernest Holmes. I put music to the words from Science of Mind. Definitely get the Science of Mind book. It's an excellent, excellent book. Deep breath. Through the long night watches, God's hand clasps ours. The break of dawn, God's hand clasps ours. The daytime of work and endeavor, from eternity to eternity, God's hand clasps ours. When time shall have passed, and let someone know how much you appreciate them, even if it's a stranger. All right, lots of love and light. Be the peace that you wish to see in the world. And namaste. See you soon.